everyone. Welcome to Cancer Healing Journey Talks. Myself Sonali Modi from Community Outreach Team of ZenOnco.io and Love Heals Cancer. We guide cancer patients on adopting an integrative oncology treatment approach. We help them find the balance between medical treatment and complementary treatment approaches. We help our patients with our team of oncologists, lab experts, nutritionists, and other healthcare professionals so that we can improve the treatment outcome for patients. And we also help in connecting patients with other cancer warriors who are going through this journey currently to address their queries. We also share inspirational journeys to motivate other cancer warriors who have gone to this journey. So firstly, I would like to introduce you to today's speaker, Miss Kaye Howarth. She's a cancer warrior. I'm happy that you're here with us today to share your story. So Kaye, you can start with your introduction.
Okay, hello, my name is Kaye, and I became a cancer warrior at the age of 34. I was a single mum with two very young children and had recently got remarried. I found a breast lump in my left breast when I was having a shower. And first of all, I thought it was a cyst, and it was initially treated as a cyst. It was then 6 months later, the lump came back again, and I thought, oh, this isn't good. So I went back to have a breast check with my GP, who immediately referred me for a mammogram. And it was from there that I became diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer. Would you like me to go on from that?
Yeah, so basically, what were the initial symptoms that made you go for the diagnosis?
Yeah, sure. I wasn't aware of it at the time, but I started to get a very sharp stabbing pain in my left breast, in my breastbone, and I initially thought it was indigestion. But it's obviously the lump and also a very, very slight change in my breast appearance. And I was also getting very tired, and when I was eating, it took me a long time to eat, and I just thought it's because I was getting tired. I'd started up a new business, my own cleaning business, to buy my wedding dress, actually. So I was getting up very early in the morning and going out at 5 in the morning to clean properties. And I just thought I was just tired from doing that and the build up to the wedding, like you do as a lady with your children as well. And then it was just after that I got my referral through. So they obviously did a where they do the syringe, I can't remember what that was called, where they withdraw a part of the fluid from the lump. And then it was sort of 3 weeks after that, and the lump kept getting bigger and bigger. So then I went back to the GP again, and I was diagnosed obviously with the breast cancer stage 3. From that, I went to have a lumpectomy in November 1999. So I'm a long-time life warrior. I'm still here 20 years later. And they didn't get all of the margin for that. So then I had to go back and have a further operation. And I actually opted just to go for a mastectomy because I thought I don't want to keep going back if they miss the margin lines. And I was very lucky. Back then I was offered to have a reconstruction at the same time, which was a big operation because they take the muscle from your back and they push it around onto your chest bone. So it's quite a big recuperation time from that. I was very lucky. I had a lot of support from my family, but looking around in the libraries, I mean, you're going back 20 years now, there was no information in the library. The only book I could find was Before I Say Goodbye by Ruth Picardi. And that was a beautiful book, but sadly she didn't make it. So that was just what you had then. So I decided to write a journal of my own called Wallbird Surviving Breast Cancer back then. And anyway, back to the treatment. I had 6 months chemotherapy, which I actually found the hardest of all of the treatment. Physical things I can deal with, but mentally it was absolutely exhausting and brutal, if I'm honest. So after that was my 6 months of recuperation, writing my journal, keeping myself going. Mentally, it was every lump or bump, anything different, I'd run to the doctors and have it checked. And even after the treatment, when I came off chemotherapy, I found that really frightening because I didn't have the support of the GP and everything. You go back and have checks, of course, every 3 months, and then it moves on, and you get a further time period between your checkup, your breast checks. But then that you feel sort of left alone, adrift there, unless you have family and friends to support you, which I did. So I was very, very lucky. Some people don't, and I really don't know how they manage. Things are different now, of course, because we've got a fantastic NHS, and mental health has got a total different outlook now, whereas before it's pushed under the covers, you know, don't talk about it. Get on with it, woman, you know, you're a woman, get on with it. You're a mum, you've got to do it for the kids. Totally different now.
Yes, totally different life. Yeah. So like,
Yeah,
what was your
yeah.
first reaction when your doctor told you that you're diagnosed with cancer, and how your family took this news?
Whoa. You know, when you go into a room, somebody's talking to you and you're in the room, then suddenly they say the word cancer, and it's like it goes to slow motion. That's the only way I can put it. It's like slow motion, and they're talking at you, but you're not taking it in. And you come out of that meeting room just remembering the words breast cancer, or I did anyway. Breast cancer, you've got breast cancer, and you immediately think you're going to die. But it's not a death sentence. Not always. If you're very, very lucky, which I was, it no longer is the case. Well, it wasn't for me. I can't talk for everyone, can I? Because everyone is individual. So yeah, very scary time. Very scary time. And for me and my children, because you have to make your children aware that you are having treatment, but how much do you tell them? You know, mine were fairly young, sort of 5 and 8, I think. I can't even remember their actual ages because you sort of blank it out. So my mum was fantastic. She actually moved in a house just across the road from us, so she could be with me every day to help me through my treatment. So hard times, but there's some very in these black times, you do have some very funny moments as well, which you remember.
Yes, so chemotherapy is a very
Sorry, yeah.
So chemotherapy is a very tough routine. So like, please share your experience and how you coped with the treatment.
Okay. What I did is I gave into it. I didn't try and fight it. My trick was to get a very comfy V cushion for the operation, so I could sleep comfortably. If I was tired, I went to bed and actually slept. I went with what my body told me. Plenty of fluid, really drink lots of fluid, as much as you can. And get yourself out. If you can try and get yourself out once a day, even if it's just to sit in the back garden if you're feeling weak. And just try and still partake with your family life if you can. When you're up in your bedroom and you can hear your family below stairs, and if they're cooking or everything, you tend to feel very left out, and it can be quite isolating. So try and spend time down in with your family if you can. Read and watch telly, and just do things that you can do with the energy you have.
So like during such times, it's very important to have a sound support system, because many people say that I don't need a support system because they feel that they might be a burden on their family. But we know that, be it going to the oncologist or be it at home, we always need a support system will be there to encourage us, to support us. Yeah. So who was your support system along with the family?
Okay, my neighbours, actually, the community came together and they really helped me. They'd drop in like food for the kids, because bear in mind I was actually single then, and apart from my mum, the neighbours, the GP was good, would phone me and see if I was okay. And actually I went on medication with antidepressants after I came through the actual journey. So keep close with your GP, because they're wonderful. Who else? I think my mum's friends as well. They sort of always kept in touch, and the other members of my family who lived in Norfolk, would phone once a week just to sort of say how you're doing. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I was lucky.
So, like, what do people need to expect when they get this cancer type?
I think you need to mentally prepare yourself, if you can, and just like I say, you if you're not sure about anything, go back and ask. Don't sort of go away not knowing questions, because now you've got the support systems, you've got Facebook, you've got everything else like that, and you can find the answers. Don't Google your symptoms and frighten yourself to death, as sometimes too much information is too much for you at the time. Just take it one day at a time, really, is my advice. And do a journal, because I found it so helpful, and to look back on it now, I think, oh my gosh, I forgot about that, you know. We After my treatment, we adopted a basset hound, because I always wanted one to get me out for a walk on the beach. You know, give yourself something to look forward to, because every day you're living, every day, every second, you know.
Yeah.
If you're tired, sleep. If the sun's shining, try and get out in the garden. You know, go for a walk down by the beach, and, you know, and wrap yourself up and get down there. Yeah.
Yeah. So, did you try any alternative treatment?
I did think about it. Yes, I did actually. That's a really good point. I started to take silver. I don't know if you've heard of that. It's like a silver water that is supposed to build your immune system. And I had that, and that I don't know if it's just psychological or not. That helped. I didn't have reflexology or anything, or any massage or things like that, because at the time it was advised not to, because it's not, you don't want to be sort of pumping things around your system. So that was the only thing. The only other thing I did was read a lot. So that was my safety. And writing, I like to write, so that kept me sane almost.
Yeah.
Which brings me to my friend Lee Banks, who was really great. He picked up my story. It'd been sat on the bookshelf in Amazon for a long time, and he's helped me now to pick it up and get it out so other ladies or men, because it was also a man's disease, can sort of hopefully get some sort of support from it, and know that I've been where they've been. So yeah, perhaps Lee could say a bit more about that, if that's possible. Yeah, with you?
Yes.
Okay.
So, like, how did you manage your emotional well-being?
Emotional well-being, I found it's just the same, really. Just don't try and expect too much of yourself. Keep going, and some days you will be down, and you know, you just have to go with it. Other days you'll be sometimes you go completely the other way and sort of think, I have a lot to plan, go out and go to the pictures and go for a drive, or have a weekend break if you can when you're feeling good. I used to find after chemotherapy, it was I used to go on a sort of 3 to 4 day roll after I'd had it. So really tired the first day, second day feeling a bit better, sometimes nauseous, weak, fourth, fifth day feeling better, and plan something to do on that cycle. You know, even if it's just going into town and having a coffee, that's the thing to do.
So, like, how is your life after cancer?
Oh, it totally shook it up, really. What did I do? I changed jobs because I was working on the stroke unit, doing speech therapy for adult stroke patients, and I retrained as a reflexologist and did that part-time for cancer patients, because I wanted to give back after I'd had such help, you know, with work colleagues as well. Great people. I did that for a while, and then I went back just to working in the community doing care for older people, just a couple of hours a day, because I was tired by then. If I did any more after I got the children off to school. a couple of hours work, and had my basset hound. So I did that for a while. And then I went to work in sheltered housing for a housing company, which was actually just down the road, which was very handy. Yeah.
So like, what were the things that helped you and made you happy on this journey?
My children, my dog, Barney, the basset hound, my mum, family. It was over Christmas time, and it was 1999, just before we went into the millennium, year 2000. Everyone was saying, what are you going to be doing in the year 2000? I thought, well, I'll be in hospital having a mastectomy, So I thought I'll be fighting for my life, which is basically what you're doing, isn't it, really? So it was just daily things, just being able to do something, just seeing the children every day, sitting down, having a meal. At the end of treatment, we bought a little caravan, so we decided to go away to Lulworth Cove by the beach, which is what we did. Just little things like that, just plan very little gems along your path, I think, is the way to go, and follow them. You need that little glint of hope and inspiration, I think, to go through.
So generally, it is often said that often women, they don't go for self-examinations because they are so much engrossed with their work, with their family work. They give less importance to them and more importance to others in their life. So like, what do you think is the importance of self-examination, especially for women, and why?
I think you owe it to yourself first and your family second, because if you go under, the whole family goes under, really, because I don't know if this is politically correct to say, but the woman is usually the main caregiver, although the husband does help around a lot more nowadays. But if she goes down, the whole family tends to sort of stutter. So put it into your monthly routine to do a breast check. It's really quick and easy to do. Any change, any dimpling or anything, and don't be embarrassed about going to the doctor. You've probably given birth. There's not much else that's you can be embarrassed about after having done that. And if you haven't, the GPs have seen so many breasts. They don't. It's like looking at an arm to them. It's just a natural piece of skin, and they're checking it for lumps and bumps to keep you healthy. Go and get your breasts checked, ladies and gentlemen.
So did you make any lifestyle changes during or after the treatment?
Yes, I worked nearer home, so I didn't have to travel. I spent more time with my children, and I worked nearer to home, so I obviously didn't have to travel, but I could still keep myself busy, and not because if you don't, you think all you can think about is sometimes is the cancer, is it coming back, and things like that. So if you're keeping busy and caring for other people, you tend to get that back. You get the karma back, I think, and they look after you as well. So you get your own little community going on there. Yeah.
So there are times when you feel that it's too much to handle, but you still don't give up. So what was the one thing that kept you motivated and kept you going on such days?
I think that I had to be there for my children, and I wanted to see them. I wanted to be a grandmother. I wanted to be a grandmother, and I wanted to see my daughter leave school, my son leave school, and that was the main thing. I wanted to see them out of their young years, and to get to sort of pre-adulthood, if I could safely, and to make sort of a preparation for them so that I could leave them safe and cared for. That was my inspiration initially, but obviously it changes as time goes on, and your hopes and inspirations sort of widen because you can see a bit more of a future going on. So yeah.
So if we look from the integrative oncology aspect of treatment plan, So what all things helped you in your recovery?
It would be good nutrition. First of all, is your basic one, of course. Making sure you attend all your oncology appointments. Get yourself a driver if you can, if you're lucky enough, so that if you're feeling poorly, you can be driven back home. Look after yourself, be kind to yourself. That's the main thing. And get other people to help you. If people offer you help, don't just turn it around away and sort of try and be proud and say, no, I can manage, because this is a good time to give in. You know, give in, be looked after yourself is the one message I can give you there. And take the advice from the oncologist, the consultant. Any questions, any reoccurrences, go back and get rechecked. Look after yourself and be kind to yourself. Yeah.
So how was your experience with the doctors and other medical staff?
I was very, very lucky. They were absolutely fantastic. We it was at Dorchester County Hospital in Dorset in England, and they had a breast care unit there, and the consultants were fantastic. The breast care ladies who looked after you, the rooms were clean and nice, so when you went in you felt, you know, fine. A horrendous experience to go through, but when you go through, with the environment was wonderful, really. I can't say anything else apart from thank you very, very much to the NHS and all the care I got there. They were wonderful. Yeah.
So do you think that cancer has changed you in a positive way?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, looking back now, we're so busy building our lives, aren't we, and sort of planning 10 years ahead and missing the time that we've got in front of us, the very seconds, minutes in that day. It taught me to live the day you're in. That you can plan for the future, but you can only live in the day that you are here in that moment and make the best of it. And you never know, life is very, very strange, you know. You think that you're going to live forever, and you know, I was dreading my future, and then we lost poor Princess Diana, didn't we? So she was fit and healthy, and life's a one, isn't it? What can you say? Yeah. So life's a great teacher.
Life is a great teacher, and always value the small things in life, because at the end of the day, when you look back, those are the things that you will cherish forever.
Absolutely. True. Very, very true. Yeah.
Every crisis in life teaches you a particular lesson. So what life lessons has this cancer journey taught you?
I think be brave. You want to do something, go and do it. Just plan and do it. You know, I wanted to go back to horse riding, and I thought, oh no, I don't have time with work. And I've actually gone back to horse riding, and since the age of 13 I wanted to own a horse, and through going horse riding, having horse riding lessons, I've now got a lone share horse. So I never thought I would ever have that experience, you know. And every Tuesday I go for a ride, which is absolutely fantastic. Write a book, do your experiences, do poetry, look at the flowers, smell the bee, you know, look at the bees, and just stand still and just look around you, you know. Just stand still and look around and see, you know, if you raised your family and everything and you want to have a little holiday, go. You know, you want a little car, save up and work towards it. Or it can be a little goal. It can be going down to the library and getting out your favorite book. Do it.
Yeah,
that's all I can say. Yeah.
So
be
how you
brave and get
felt?
out there.
Yeah, how you felt when you first heard that you're cancer free?
Oh, it's the best news you can ever hear. I think we go 5 years and they say that particular cancer you're cancer free from. You never know really if you are fully cancer free, do you? Because I don't really want to go into that because it's, you know, this is a positive thing. You're free from that particular cancer, and it's wonderful. So you can't quite believe it though, and you always think it's just behind you. First of all, you think there's this cloud following you, and it's always on your shoulders, it's always there tapping you and sort of saying, you know, hi, you know, I've been there. But as time goes on, you begin to believe that you are healthy again, and sort of, I think even now I'll sort of think, oh, you know, if I see something, but I have to see it now to be reminded. And I've totally forgotten that I've had cancer, apart from obviously when I get changed and sort of look at my body change. But then that's me now. Scars, those scars mean that I survived. So I'm proud of those scars. And my nipple tattoo, by the way. So yeah.
So do you still go for prescribed checkups after you are declared cancer free?
Yeah, when you're cancer free, you go, everybody's individual. I went every 3 months initially, then every 6 months, and then it goes to every year, then every 3 years. Because I was so mentally caught up with it, I asked after hitting the age of 50 if I could continue to go every year. And my GP was very, very good, and they let me go every year still, so I can get checked every year. But not, I'm not sure how things are in other hospitals, and every case is individual, isn't it? So yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, you know, gratitude seems to be the biggest strength to fight the situation. So what were you ever so grateful for that made you always calm down after thinking or revisiting that memory?
I have photographs of my family all over the house, and whichever room I'm in, I can see their faces sort of smiling, and just to sort of look at them around the room, I can feel the love and support. It's a simple thing, but it works for me, and that calms me down initially, to the point of sort of trying to get a grip of myself. And the only message I can give really is, if you are concerned, the best thing you can do is to get it checked, because then you have control. It's a loss of control of your life and the fear that gets hold of you. So you try and get a hold of that, and then I think you're on a good course, on a good path.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
have you ever questioned yourself, why me? And if yes, then how you coped up with this
Yes.
thought?
Yeah. And being a bit back then, being a bit of a party girl, I'd go out and, you know, and we'd go night clubbing and have a few glasses of wine. You sort of think, you know, now we know, because obviously wine and alcohol can be linked to cancers, can't it? And you think, was it because of, you know, did I party too hard? Have I done something wrong in my life? You know, why me? You know, my children are still young. Of course you do. Everybody would do, I should imagine. It's not personal. Cancer's not personal. It's just an illness, a dis-ease. It puts you in it makes you uneasy. So it's horrible. But we're getting there. We're beating it, I think. I think we've done very well with the health and oncology and all the consultants and the mental health with it. So keep on going.
So how did you overcome your fear of treatment or side effects?
I think just taking each step at a time. I was less frightened of the surgery, because I think surgery is quite straightforward. You go in and then you physically heal. It was the chemotherapy that I didn't like. It was because when you've had surgery, you can cover it up, can't you? With chemotherapy, you lose your hair, you look like look very poorly, don't you? And that was the worst thing for me, and also feeling frail, and also at some points you have to sort of not be in contact with other people with colds and flu, so it's isolating as well. But I think you you just have to get through it. What choice have you got, really? To what level people manage is different in each individual case, isn't it? And what support you have. I was lucky. I was lucky.
Yeah. So when did you think that I can beat this disease, or was this belief always there with you?
My mum's got a very strong faith. And she said, we've been through this before with the cyst. And it was my mum, really. She's such a strong lady. And her faith that people believe, but everybody's got their own belief in what they believe in and what gets them through, haven't they? So I think using your own belief systems is a big one. And like we say, all religions come down basically to family supporting us and supporting each other. If we're not family, it's a big family, isn't it? Because we're all related, aren't we? Everyone's related to everybody, really. So yeah, hope that answers your question. I'm not sure.
Yeah. So like, do you have the fear of reoccurrence? And if yes, then how you deal with this thought?
Fear of
Recurrence of cancer?
Always. Initially, every 2 seconds after being diagnosed and having treatment and chemotherapy, every 2 seconds it clicks into your mind. And as time goes on, that reminder or that fear comes back, and that's the most haunting moment, I think, for any cancer patient, is reoccurrence. I think it's only natural. Of course you would do. Anybody would do, wouldn't they? And I think all you do is to work through it. You have to work through it. What choice have you got? Sometimes you can do it well. Sometimes you need support from your GP. Sometimes you need a big hug from your mum or your husband or your children or your dozy dog, like my basset hound. You have to get through it. And fear is a natural part of it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what was the pivotal turning point in your life?
Gosh, there's so many, isn't there? The pivotal point was when I finished chemotherapy, and that was a downward. It's not always up and down, it's a roller coaster, and I went quite down with that because I was frightened of not having the chemotherapy, which actually makes you feel ill but makes you feel safe as well. So come off that, so you go like up and down like this. So that was one big down, and you gradually claw your way up. And it was, I think, retraining in reflexology, and looking after other people, doing that, and going out to work in the community as a carer. That was another one. And then obviously through time you change your course and you can work longer hours and start to feel better. And the children looked happier. That was another one. They looked, because it's a big load for children to carry. It's a big load. So as you can see them getting back into their normal life and looking happier. And my mum, that's another one. So many.
An act of kindness that you will never forget?
Have to think for a minute there. Just somebody coming in with a meal for the children on the day that I was diagnosed. They'd gone away and made up a meal because I just didn't feel like eating. And that was wonderful because the children came in and I didn't have to think about it. But I can just remember that one moment, you know. There's so many. I was very, very lucky. So many acts of kindness. Lift to the hospitals. Somebody to talk to when you're actually in the clinic, you know, that's an act of kindness, isn't it? Talking to somebody. So many.
What is that one thing on your bucket list?
I want to go to Texas and be a cowgirl go on a cowgirl holiday and be under the stars and riding like a cowgirl and rounding up cows.
Yeah.
That's my one thing. Yeah.
So,
And the other thing is to get my book into the library so that any lady or gentleman can read and see that there is a positive book out there, so they can grab it and read it. To see that on the bookshelves would be fantastic in the library, and to know that that was my point in writing my journal, to get that there. So that would be great. Yeah.
so what are the things you appreciate or love about yourself?
That I love about myself.
Yeah.
I've never been asked that before. I think I try and be positive, and I love my children. I love my family very, very much, and I think that's a positive thing for me. It keeps me happy.
Yeah. So, like, how did
Yeah.
you manage your personal and professional life? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, like, how did you manage your personal and professional well-being?
It was actually, it was down to my mum, because she would cook the meals. She would tell me if I was looking tired. She'd say, "Kay, go to bed," and I'd go to bed, and she would take over looking after the children for me. It was letting somebody else take over, which is very, very hard when you're a mum and a parent, isn't it? So yeah, it was, and I'm fiercely independent. I'm fiercely like looking after my children. I like to do it myself, but you can't. You just have to let somebody in and take over the days that you're feeling rough and poorly. So yeah.
What would be your message to other cancer patients and caregivers?
Take one day at a time. If you find any lump or bump or any dimple or anything you're just not sure about, go to your GP and get it checked. Don't be frightened, don't be embarrassed. You owe it to yourself and to your family to get checked out, and for your own peace of mind, because you'll only sit there and worry about it and keep poking it like I did and making matters worse. So get to the doctors and get it checked. Okay.
What do you think are the stigmas attached to cancer and the importance of awareness for it?
Cancer is a horrible word, isn't it? Cancer, it strikes fear into everybody, and it's amazing. Some people will actually walk around you if they see you with a bald head or a scarf on. You become invisible. I think that's the worst thing. People become very uncomfortable around you. You find out who your true friends are, that's for sure. And that was the hardest thing I found. Yeah, that was the harshest lesson I learned with that, whereas you certainly do find out who your true friends are. And but then there you go, sometimes it does you a favor, doesn't it? Sorts the wheat from the chaff.
So if you have to sum up your journey in one sentence, then what would that be?
Okay, it's a hell of a ride. It's a roller coaster journey. Hang on and be brave. You'll get there.
Yeah. So at ZenOnco.io, we help cancer patients through their journey from diagnosis to forever. So what do you think about the work we are doing in terms of patient care?
I think it's progressed so much. I think it's amazing. It really is. From first referral to diagnosis to consultations, each staff member is trained and they're just so loving and caring. very, very pushed now because I'm not sure the funding is for the NHS or any hospital now. They are very pushed and very hard worked. But thank you very much to all of them. Every member from, don't forget the cleaners, because without the cleaners, you've got MRSA and you've got all the bacteria. So from the ground up, every staff member is crucial to your recovery. So from cleaners to the lady selling the snack bars and coffee, and the person showing you around if you get lost. Wonderful, absolutely wonderful. And surgeons, of course. Don't forget the surgeons. And oncologists. Yeah, fantastic, absolutely fantastic. So thank you. Big thank you from me and my family, that's for sure.
Yeah. So thank you so much for your valuable time, Kaye. I hope this session I hope this session really motivates people out there who are traveling or who have traveled through this journey. So it was lovely having you here today on this session with us. So once again, thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure, and keep healthy, everybody, and love to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.